Good evening. I have more details about the Charlie Kirk assassination, as well as some misinformation that's being spread as a transgender prophecy that has come true. I'll debunk all of that. And President Trump makes two big announcements from the Oval Office. Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. Let's jump right in. All right, there is a story getting some national news that the trans community had a prophecy circulating that Charlie Kirk would die or be killed on September 10th. So this is going around. The mainstream media is picking this up. It was trending over on Twitter that this would be the day that Charlie Kirk would pass away. Now, many are saying this is really fascinating. We need to dig in. We need to figure out what this is. However, Andy No, who has been tracking Antifa for many years now, he's debunked all of this. September 10th will be a very interesting day. So many people have brought attention to this X post, claiming it is evidence that the person likely knew of a plan to assassinate Charlie Kirk. The FBI is reportedly investigating this matter following massive tips. As you can see, many news organizations, including the Daily Mail being the biggest, they're picking up on this. September 10th will be a very interesting day. I pled the 5th. However, this particular channel says something very interesting about dates every couple of days, and almost always links them to Donald J. Trump. So this is not a prophecy. This is somebody that just goes on every single day and types something up, almost like astrology or a palm reading or something like that. But just in case you were believing the trans prophecy death of Charlie Kirk, there you go. It's been debunked. All right. Now, in my earlier two shows today, I told you how Tyler Robinson is now not cooperating with Utah police or the FBI. He is claiming that he is not guilty, that he did not pull the trigger and commit the assassination of Charlie Kirk. However, FBI Director Kash Patel says they have a screwdriver from the roof, likely used to assemble and disassemble the gun, with his DNA evidence. They also have a towel with the gun with Tyler's DNA evidence. They've also dug in through Discord, where he admitted to a group of more than 20 that he was behind this. So although he is not confessing now, before turning himself in at his father's behest, he had gone online and told his gaming community that he had done something really dumb and that it was me. So Tyler Robinson apparently confessed to killing conservative icon Charlie Kirk in an online message to at least 36 people. Hey guys, I have bad news for you all, he said. It was me at UVU yesterday. I am sorry for all of this, he wrote. I'm surrendering through a sheriff friend in a few moments. Thanks for all the good times and laughs. You've been so amazing. Thank you for everything. So even though he's now saying that he didn't do this, they've got written documentation of him admitting that he, in fact, did do this. In fact, let's tune into what was said on Fox News not long ago.
All right, breaking right now, reports of a confession posted on Discord from Charlie Kirk's suspected assassin hours before, after the murder, but hours before his father turned him in to authorities in Utah. This is Washington Post reporting on this at this point. Justice correspondent David Spunt joining me now live from Washington. Hi, David. What can you tell us?
Hi, Martha. About 2 hours before he was turned into authorities, this according to the Washington Post. We are working to independently confirm this as well, but the Washington Post says that Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old suspect charged in Charlie Kirk's murder, confessed. And I want to read this according to the Washington Post, writing on Discord, that social media chat group that the FBI says he used, quote, "Hey guys, I have bad news for you all. It was me at UVU yesterday. I'm sorry for all of this." This coming from the Washington Post. Now, this comes as DOJ officials began late last week and over the weekend looking at the potential for at least one federal charge. No guarantee they'll get there. A department spokesperson declined comment, but a source familiar said investigators are not ruling anything out at this time, especially his online gaming presence, his chats, as we just mentioned. Who was he talking to?
All right. So it's not looking good when you say through your attorney to the FBI, I did not do this, but now they have written documentation of him confessing to the crime, showing mild amounts of remorse, but not really, right? Now, in a chilling twist, as I mentioned, they now have discovered that this is a ex-Mormon. So he was raised with a Christian background, 2 parents, white male. Several years ago, starting in around 2021 under the Biden administration, he started getting involved in politics, left-leaning politics. Also, I'm reading that he started having a furry fetish, meaning interacting with people who believe that they are animals. And a lot of school districts are dealing with this now, where this sounds weird to say, right? But kids are dressing up as animals and they're coming to school. They're wearing bark collars. They're barking. Somebody at my child's school believes he's a velociraptor. He literally pretends to be a dinosaur all day. Other school systems, they're saying, do we need to put in litter boxes instead of bathrooms? They don't know what to do. This furry community. Well, then he started to go to the dark web where there was basically pornographic animals and pornographic anime of furries. He then went down the rabbit hole of trans pornography. And this is where his mind begins to twist. He starts to interact with people on the internet. He goes off to college. He starts to leave those Mormon Christian beliefs behind. His family said he became distant. Family members and coworkers say this guy was anything but a Trump fan, anything but conservative values. So that upbringing that he had is now gone out the window. He then moves in with a trans male who is now openly working with the FBI, saying that, yes, they were in fact boyfriend and boyfriend. So the story is starting to get very twisted as this young man left home. So influenced by pro-trans ideology, trans pornography, furry pornography. I mean, I guess this starts to make sense now. Remember, one of the bullets was from a furry meme where he wrote on the bullet, "Notice bulge, OWO, OWO." I guess this is something in the furry pornography field. So he began to have a warped, radical view of the world. So very interesting, right? Now, Utah Governor Spencer Cox and FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino called it an ideologically motivated attack and a political assassination, facing aggravated murder charges, felony discharge of a firearm, and obstruction charges. Robinson is held without bail and is refusing to cooperate. His Tuesday court appearance looms as investigators probe deeper into online radicalization networks. So it looks like he could be in the courtroom as early as tomorrow. And if so, I will definitely be covering that with you. All right. Democrat Dan Turretin has called on Democrats to stop calling their political opponents Nazis and comparing them to Hitler. He says it does nobody any good and actually damages your message. Listen to what he had to say.
Party should not call Trump Hitler, should not say he's a fascist. One, it's bad politics. Two, it's just not true, right? It is simply not the case. And I think that whenever a bad thing happens, parties need to call out in real time. This is not acceptable. And I wish that one of our 2028ers would come out and be more explicit. Like, I thought Bernie Sanders did a great job. But the next step is, some of these leaders, I am wrong or was wrong to call Trump. Like, we all need to lower the temperature. And I'm going to do my part by saying, like, we got to knock this crap off. Win in the marketplace of ideas, win at the ballot box. But don't say we have to destroy the other side and stop it because it's Hitler. Because I agree with the speaker, Johnson. Crazy people hear that and think I have to do my part.
All right. Crazy people hear Democrats calling the right Nazis, a threat to democracy, the worst thing that's ever happened to our country, and that Donald Trump is the new Hitler. And then they act on this. So he's saying, really, it's bad. And whoever runs in 2028, you should be the first one. You should be mature and come out and say, we were wrong to do that, and I will not do that going forward. So I apologize. This is an evening video, and the lighting is really dark. So hopefully you guys can see my face. Let me know in the comments. Interesting to hear a Democrat political commentator coming out and saying they need to apologize. They need to say that this is wrong, and they need to commit to not doing that. I think that was actually really, really interesting and good information. Now, Scott Adams, he is a political commentator and comic book person that I've really come to like. Sadly, he's dying of turbo cancer after getting the vaccine. His words, not mine. He's got prostate cancer that has moved into the bones. But he says Democrats are losing hundreds of thousands of people, but he believes it's going to be in the millions as Democrat voters realize the people you said are evil and worth killing are actually good people. They're going to do their research, and they're going to realize that you've been lying to them, that you've been radicalizing them and weaponizing them for your evil purposes. Listen to what he had to say, because it's super insightful.
I believe that there's something coming that's pretty big, which is there's going to be this gigantic Charlie Kirk cognitive dissonance experience for the left, because they don't have a theory to explain what's going on right now. So the only way they can explain it is to assume that half the globe are Hitlers themselves, or they don't know what they know. So there's going to be a whole bunch of trying to understand the world that they're observing. I don't feel like I have any confusion about the world I'm observing. But the Democrats are going to have a big problem, because they're going to have to figure out why everybody says this guy is an angel, but they've been acting like he's such a bad person they have to kill him. At some point, this won't apply to everybody, but at some point there'll be a healthy number of Democrats who realize that they were on the side of killing an innocent man, meaning that they didn't act on it, but they were sort of happy it happened, maybe. And then they're going to find out that he was nothing like they thought. And this will be one of the biggest mistakes of humanity. It's one thing to kill somebody because you're going to get something out of it. This was not that. This is killing somebody and getting the opposite of whatever it was you wanted, because you're going to get a lot of that. You're going to get a lot, and it's going to be the opposite of whatever you thought you wanted. But it's because you killed the wrong guy. I saw somebody say today, was it King John? They killed our son. Boy, do I feel that. You know what I mean? Those of you who know my story know that that hits me hard. Anyway, that's what they got wrong. If you kill our stranger, we might be mad, but we'll probably not change our schedule over it. If you kill our son, all of our son, we're going to change our schedule. All right. Tomorrow won't be the same as today because you killed our son. And that has more, I think that has more meaning in, more than one way, if you know what I mean.
I think obviously he's speaking metaphorically there. The lighting's a little better. I had to go turn it on. But a lot of people feel very connected to Charlie Kirk. And in fact, if you look at the left-leaning media, a lot of them are saying, who is this guy? I thought he was evil. Why are they lowering the flag for Charlie Kirk? Thousands are going online saying, okay, you told me he was evil because he said this, but then they watch the longer clip and they go, this guy wasn't evil. I may disagree with what he said, but he wasn't evil. You've got other people saying, who is this character that a president of the United States would go speak at his funeral? And then they're going to start to dig in and they're going to realize, oh, wait a minute. This was one of the best among us. And they, instead of approaching the mic, they approached with a gun. Instead of debating ideas, they left him dead. So I think that they are going to have a massive wake up, and hundreds of thousands of them already are having this major wake up. Wow. All right. President Trump made two very big announcements from the Oval Office. I've been saying, why are we going into a blue state in a blue city that doesn't want us? Why don't you go into a red state with a governor that wants to clean up the crime, the murder rate, the killings, the kidnappings, the violation of women and children? And so Trump is doing that. Trump is getting ready to go into Tennessee. This was announced today from the Oval Office. Breaking news: President Trump just officially surged federal resources to Memphis, Tennessee. Creates the Memphis Safe Task Force. Now, of course, Democrats are already saying, okay, so you're going into a red state, but you're going into a city that's predominantly black. You're a racist, right? It just happens to be where there's the most crime. So the National Guard, FBI, DEA, ICE, DHS, U.S. Marshal, and more are going to be a part of this task force that is going to surge into Memphis. Listen to what President Trump had to say.
Governor Bill Lee of Tennessee, who's standing with us, as you know. I'm signing a presidential memorandum to establish the Memphis Safe Task Force, and it's very important because of the crime that's going on, not only in Memphis, in many cities, and we're going to take care of all of them, step by step, just like we did in D.C. We have virtually no crime in D.C. right now, and we're going to keep it that way. It's our nation's capital. We're going to keep it that way.
So what we did in Washington, D.C., now with a red governor in a red state, we have permission. We're going to go show the United States of America how to clean up the gangs, how to clean up the guns, how to clean up the crime, the murder, the violation of women, the violation of children. They're going to go in and do all of it. And I am here for it. This is what I voted for. And I think it's absolutely amazing. Now, President Trump got a lot of pushback a couple weeks ago when they blew up a narco-terrorist boat with 11 people bringing thousands of pounds of drugs that could kill thousands or tens of thousands of Americans. Well, now, President Trump this morning says, on my orders, the U.S. military conducted a second kinetic strike against positively identified, extraordinarily violent drug trafficking cartels and narco-terrorists in the Southcom area of responsibility. The strike occurred while these confirmed narco-terrorists from Venezuela were in international waters. So he ordered the military. They tracked these people. There was 3 of them. And when they entered into international waters and it was determined that they were trafficking drugs to the United States, he ordered that the boat be blown up. He said, if you are transporting drugs that kill Americans, we are hunting you. The illicit activity by these cartels have wrought devastating consequences on American communities for decades, killing millions of American citizens. No longer. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So if you are trafficking drugs to the United States, you will now be hunted by the U.S. military. This, according to President Trump earlier today from the Oval Office. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I don't take joy in anybody dying, but if you are surging drugs that could kill tens of thousands of Americans and American children, you are now being hunted by the U.S. military. Pretty crazy. All right, let me know what you guys think about the Charlie Kirk situation, about the Tyler Robinson trans porn, how his mind became warped situation, about going into Memphis, Tennessee, as well as the drug cartels being hunted by the U.S. military. I love you guys. Stay amazing and safe, and I will see you on the next video.